Hey everybody. Almost on time that time. First of all, I want to say apologies for not going live last week. I had a conference for work and was hoping I'd make it back home in time, but I didn't make it. So skipped last week. But to make up for it, I'm going live today, but I'm also going to do a live stream on Saturday with Brandon, who is in the chat. So yes, we will be going live on Saturday. Not going to spoil what that stream's going to be about, but it's going to be a pretty awesome one. A full lineup, I'll say. What's up, everybody? Donnie, Diana, Brandon, Aaron. What's up, you guys? Thanks for stopping in. Eric, what's up? Good to see all of you. I haven't poured anything in my glass yet. So I'm going to go ahead and clear my throat and then pour some of my first pour of the night. So today, I want to do something a little different. I've been doing a lot of bourbon lately, I feel like. So, you guys know I like other whiskeys other than bourbon. Irish whiskey was the second thing I got into after bourbon and rye, of course. Been getting into scotch a little bit more now lately. But bourbon is where it's at. But, you know, I do appreciate a good Irish whiskey. Bourbon is good, Brandon. 16-hour day. Gosh, Eric. I imagine you need a pour. So, it doesn't have to be Irish whiskey. It can be bourbon. So, so I wanted to do a lineup that I wasn't super familiar with. I did go to a tasting event where we did the full lineup from them. But my store just recently put them all on sale. I'm going to pull up their website real quick just so I can compare the prices. So I can let you guys know what I paid for this. This is their core lineup from Powers Distillery. Pardon the honks outside. Let me just pull this over here. Cool. So this is the core lineup. I have with me the gold label, which is their standard release. I have 3 Swallows, which is their a little bit more premium release. This one, so the gold label was $17 on sale. This was $27 on sale. Again, these prices are really low compared to what it normally is. And then finally, I have the John's Lane 12-year-old release. This was the most expensive of the bunch. It was $47. Again, that's still way cheaper than I've ever seen it, so that's why I picked it up when it was on sale. You guys know I love Redbreast 12-year cask strength. Redbreast 12-year is great too. I don't have a bottle of that, but I do have a bottle of the Redbreast cask strength. Of course, you guys know I have this on hand. This is literally my go-to Irish whiskey. It's just incredible. I mean, it's expensive, but it's pretty awesome. So I do want to do a comparison at the very end of the two. I know it's not quite fair because the John's Lane isn't cask strength. It is only, what's the proof on that guy? Is it on the box? It may not be on the box. Yeah, it doesn't tell you on the box. That's odd that it doesn't though. Oh, there we go. There's only 46% alcohol, whereas the cask strength is 58% alcohol. So significantly higher proof. I do not believe Powers even does a release that's cask strength. Now, one thing to note that I think is really interesting that I feel like a lot of people don't know, these come from the exact same distillery. Redbreast, Powers, and Jameson all come from the Middleton Distillery in Ireland. I don't get how, but they literally produce almost all of Ireland's whiskey. It's crazy, but Bushmills 21 years. I have not explored Bushmills very much, actually. Surprisingly, I feel like that's where a lot of people start. Oh, what's up, Peter? Your samples should get here Saturday, according to my email, so thanks again for sending that. You guys may know Peter sent over some samples of some Canadian whiskey that I am really excited to try, because the Canadian whiskey we get here in America, I think, is kind of, it doesn't suck, but it's not all Canada has to offer, so Peter is graciously sending me some samples. So look for that in a coming stream. Stop by the distillery when you go to Ireland. Oh yeah, for sure. They are huge. They're humongous. I watched a video. I think did the Whiskey Vault go there? I don't know if it was the Whiskey Vault or another channel went to Ireland and took photos there. Bushmills 21 year awaiting a family event. So first of all, this smells great. I have been drinking on this a little bit since I picked up the bottle, as you can see. I actually mixed it with ginger ale, which I really like mixing Irish whiskey with ginger ale. I think the flavors really complement each other, and I think this is fantastic in ginger ale. Again, it's a $17 bottle. at the price I paid. Help you convince your wife. Wait, your wife to do what? To go to Middleton? Maybe. I mean, I think she would appreciate it. But yeah, so color-wise, it's pretty light. Again, it's an Irish whiskey. Nose is similar to Jameson. It's more... So Jameson is like straight up shortbread cookie, typical Irish whiskey nose. I even get some of that on Redbreast too. This though, there's a lot more oak influence, I feel like. And there is no age statement on this, but I believe it's around 4 to 6 years old. So she's a Jameson girl. Well, there, exactly. That's a reason enough to go. And their distilleries there are so old compared to our distilleries here in America. So let's go ahead and taste this. First of all, what are you guys sipping on tonight? Maybe some Irish whiskey to go along with me? If not, totally cool. Drink your bourbon, drink your scotch, drink your Canadian whiskey. Yeah, so I think on the nose, this really does shine. Now, the gold label is only, actually, I thought it was lower proof. It's actually 86.4 proof. Interesting. I was reading online and it said 80 proof. I wonder if they do a different bottling that's 80 proof, but this one's 86. So maybe that's why I like it more than Jameson. But let's go ahead and try it. So the nose, I think, shines a bit more than the palate of it. It's very thin, obviously, but I mean, it's higher proof than I thought it was. So it drinks pretty thin for that high of a proof. Flavor-wise, nothing's jumping out of the glass. It's right there. It kind of lingers on the tip of the tongue. There's that honey sweetness. There is the like baked cracker, like shortbread cookie note or whatever, but it flees really quickly. I mean, again, this is a $17 whiskey. To me, this is perfect mixing price. I mean, Jameson is about that price anyways, maybe a little bit more for Jameson. But I thought this blended really fantastic with ginger ale, and I would love to try a different kind of Irish cocktail, which, by the way, I don't really know many cocktails that are Irish focused. Do you guys? Is there anything? I know there's Jack and James, and maybe it's just the ginger ale thing. I don't know, but I feel like I don't hear about Irish whiskey being mixed with very much, but I think it's great in ginger ale, so I'm just wondering to make sure the chat is going. Okay, cool. Irish coffee, that's good. And Irish car bomb, that's what I was thinking. But isn't that just like dropping a shot of Jameson in a Guinness? Am I wrong? Aaron says Irish coffee, that's true. I guess that would be... when I think of like a coffee cocktail, though, my go-to is always like a White Russian, and that uses vodka and Kahlua. But yeah, Irish coffee is a good point. Bushmills 16 year. Hey, that's again, I don't know very much about Bushmills. I'm pretty sure they're Middleton too. Am I right in saying that Bushmills is Middleton? They all are. Just kidding. There's smaller distilleries, but they're the main one. Yes, I'm going to leave a little bit in this glass because I do want to compare it. I mean, the whole point of doing this lineup is to compare them all side by side. So I wanted to move into the Three Swallows because I think that's the next logical step. It's $11 more than what I paid for the gold label. It's the same proof, actually. It's the exact same proof, 86.4. Bushmills is Bushmills. Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know. 16-year Teeling single cask strength. Ooh, interesting. That sounds really good. I have tried Teeling at a tasting. I don't think they had a cask strength option. I think they had an older offering, but I have not had. I really do need to explore Irish whiskey more, which is kind of why I bought these. Because I'm like, I've been sleeping on it. I've been just drinking my Redbreast. That's been my go-to. Got to explore a little bit more. So this is what they call their Three Swallows. I'll tell you a little bit more about it once I get it. Oh, insert joke here. Yeah, I thought about it one. So this one, though, from what I can tell, it's also non-age stated, but I believe this is 6 to 8 years old. So it's a little bit older. This is also, I didn't mention, but the gold was a blend. This is a single pot still. So this is definitely more small batch, obviously. It does say that this one is finished mostly in ex-bourbon casks, but they do use sherry casks as well, smaller sherry casks, and they blend them together. So it still says it's a pure pot still. This pot still is kind of one of those confusing things because like it's not like a single barrel. So again, I'm not super educated on that, but I do know it is unique to Ireland for the most part. There've been a couple people that try to copy it. Yeah, so it's the main distilling method in Ireland. So let's go ahead and pour a little bit of Three Swallows and see how it compares to the gold label. Most old Teelings are Kool-Aid juice. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I'm not. I should be more well versed on Irish whiskey, but I found a favorite with Redbreast and kind of stuck with it and didn't really explore more beyond that. And that's never a good idea. It's always good to explore more. Ooh, that was a great cork pop, by the way. So the story of the Three Swallows, it's based on how they used to differentiate the quality and the age of their whiskey. They would use like a little swallow icon on, I guess, the barrel. 3 was what they used for the best quality, so they would always mark those with three swallows. So that's kind of what this is marked as. It's considered the best. So I would consider this more of like a, like, let's say that the gold label is just like a regular, Buffalo Trace. I'm making bourbon comparisons, that's all I know. Let's say that the gold label is Buffalo Trace. This is more of your Eagle Rare. It's a little older. Eagle Rare is technically single barrel, but not really. So that's a different story. But it's a little bit older, but it's to select the best barrels from that same time. Same proof. So I am curious to see how it holds up being a single pot still versus a blend. So this one was the gold label. It's going to nose it real quick and just go back to it. Oh, wow. There's a lot more jumping out of the glass on this one. I get that sherry. And, does this say anything about sherry? It doesn't say. It just says this is a blend. So I definitely think the sherry totally has an impact on the flavor with the Three Swallows, because there is a lot of sherry on that. Reminds me a lot of a Redbreast, which makes me curious. How does it compare to Redbreast? We'll see. Yeah, a lot of sherry on the nose. Still that... It's almost more Jameson-y, I would say. Maybe I do get like a kind of a sherry note on Jameson that I wasn't aware of, but yeah, this smells a little more creamy, I would say. Let's out like the sherry cast. I don't know. This doesn't actually say, but the John's Lane one actually says Oloroso sherry. So I don't know if they use the same ones, but it's weird that one names a certain sherry cast and the other one doesn't. So let's go ahead and try the Three Swallows. Definitely different. That drinks like a Redbreast, not like a cask strength, obviously, but first of all, it's not thin. It's very full bodied, and it has a finish. It doesn't just disappear once it's your tongue like the gold label. So Redbreast is okay. That's true, but they do. So I know they have that special finish release, the Lestau. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but they do use sherry casks for their regular Redbreast. I don't know what kind of sherry. I know it's on here. It says, it may not say on this. It may be on the actual box, which I no longer have. Yeah, it doesn't say on here, but I know for sure that the 12-year, like the box, it says it does use a sherry finish. I could be wrong. Maybe someone point out if I am for sure wrong, but I'm almost positive because I have the 14-year, which is also... I'm going to do a Redbreast lineup soon. I've kind of done it before, but thanks to Aaron, who was in the chat earlier, I got my hands on a Redbreast 21-year-old, so so excited for that one. So I'll have a Redbreast 12, a 12 cask strength, 14-year-old cask strength, and a 21-year-old, so... looking forward to that so much. I haven't opened the 21 year yet, but I'm so excited for it. So yeah, so I'm going to go back to the gold label real quick and just for comparison's sake. Yeah, that was very light. None of the fruitiness. I don't get any of the sherry sweetness on it. Barely. I would say there's no finish. I mean, I would say that's probably a very, very short finish. Whereas when you go to this, same proof. So that's proof that proof doesn't determine finish. Yeah, it doesn't drink like hotter, I would say. I mean, it's the same proof, but it takes longer to go from the tip of your tongue down the back of your throat and like into your chest. So I think for $10 more, I don't know. I think this one's normally $38 and the gold label is normally $27. I would definitely say it's worth the $10 more. I mean, even at regular price. I mean, the gold label is a good mixer. Maybe if you want to switch it up from Jameson, but no, that Three Swallows, if you want a sipping Irish whiskey, that one's great. And that's why I'm really, really curious to see how it compares. I feel like I'm going through these really fast. I need to slow down a bit because I'm about onto my final one of the lineup, and we are still going early. So I want to ask, what do you guys think of Irish whiskey? Do you like it? Do you think it's like flavorless? Do you have like one that you stick to, like I do with the Redbreast? What is your thoughts on Irish whiskey? Because I can't be the only one that like found one that they liked and stuck with it, because people do that with other whiskeys. They find a bourbon they like and they stick to that bourbon. Find a Scotch, they like Ardbeg, and they just always buy Ardbeg. So what's your experience with Irish whiskey? Brandon's never really had it besides Jameson. I mean, fair point. I feel like a lot of people have it. I mean, before I got into Redbreast, Jameson was the only thing that I'd ever had before too. So Donnie likes what he's had. Yeah, and I think it takes some exploring. Because I mean, even if you're a bourbon person, you don't reach out beyond the Jameson, or you find one that you really latch onto, like Redbreast. I know Sarah from It's Bourbonite, her favorite is the Redbreast 15 year. For me, the 12-year cask strength, I think that extra proof stands out and like makes a big difference. Peter says Yellow Spot is decent. So I have tried Green Spot. Green Spot's the cheaper one. Yellow Spot's the more expensive one, right? And then Red Spot's the in-between. I don't know enough about it, but I did try one of them, and I didn't explore further because I have heard you either love Redbreast, like the flavor profile of a Redbreast, or you love the flavor profile of like a Green Spot or a Yellow Spot. I love everything about Redbreast. So when I tried the Green Spot, I was a little let down, and I didn't really like that light, bright citrus note on it. I much prefer the baked good notes, the darker fruits that I get with a Redbreast. So I more likely lean towards the Redbreast side of things. But I would like to revisit. I mean, again, I need to be a little more Irish curious. I mean, I'm like 30% Irish anyway, so I should probably explore a bit more. Redbreast 21 is excellent. Oh, I'm sure, Peter. I can't wait. I'm really just waiting for a reason to open it. I mean, I really don't need a reason. Do any of us need a reason to open a bottle other than like we bought it? But I don't know. I'm just holding out for a little bit because I have so many open bottles, you guys. I have like 60 open bottles right now. I don't even know. So Juan thought Redbreast was, Red Spot. Sorry, Red Spot was too sweet. Interesting. Yeah, I get like a really citrusy note on those that I don't get on the Redbreast. So Yellow Spot is wine matured and 46%. Interesting. Yeah, it's such a different world than bourbon. Like, I mean, just to me, all this stuff coming from the same distillery has such vastly different flavor profiles. I'm talking about like the Powers and the Jameson and the Middleton Very Rare or whatever. I think it's so interesting because I feel like bourbon, if something's from Heaven Hill, it's mostly going to taste like a Heaven Hill product. I mean, even especially, we don't know what the mash is on these. I would assume it's the same, but maybe they change it up depending on the brand. I don't know for sure, but I just know with bourbon, if something's from Heaven Hill, it's going to taste like a Heaven Hill product. It may be there will be some variance for sure. I mean, Buffalo Trace, they have 3 different mash bills, but even each of those mash bills have a different flavor profile. So, like different products with the same mash bill have a different flavor profile. So it's very, very interesting. But let's go ahead. I think we are at a good point to pour our third Powers, not our final one. I'm gonna compare to Redbreast for sure. This is the Powers John's Lane. This is a 12-year-old, and it's named after the location of the distillery. The distillery was originally called Powers John's Lane Distillery, and they use this expression to celebrate the origins of Powers whiskey and provide a glimpse of their whiskey style that made Powers famous. Pot still distillate, which is true to the original style of John's Lane. The whiskey has been matured for no less than 12 years, mainly in first fill American bourbon casks, with small contribution of distillate, which has been matured in Oloroso sherry butts. So, there is some Oloroso sherry. That's where they name dropped Oloroso sherry. Tyrconnell. I've never heard of Tyrconnell. Oh, this has a little... What is this? I haven't opened this box. What is this little pamphlet? That's interesting. I don't want to rip it. They have this little thing on it. I don't want to mess it up. We'll look at that in a second. Let me go and pour the whiskey. So this one was the one that was $47. And this they're all non-chill, or I can't say they're all non-chill filtered. Let me double check the gold label. Yeah, all non-chill filtered. Now, I did read that they do add coloring. I know, it's kind of disappointing. It's an Irish whiskey thing. Maybe they do because Irish whiskey is so light. I should have mentioned that when I was mentioning the color earlier, but yeah. It's kind of disappointing they do some coloring on it, but it's the Irish way, I guess. Has your bedroom door always been open? I left it open because my cat is on the bed right now, and I wanted him to be able to get out because I didn't want him pawing at the door. So, yeah, I normally close it. Imagine someone's like creeping in on me. Oh, don't give me like goosebumps. That's creepy. Yeah. So here's. I guess I can take this part off. I didn't want to rip it, but I can just rip this tag off. So let's see what this is. It says John's Lane Distillery, Dublin, 1886. Oh wow, that's a story. That's not just like I thought it was gonna be like a map or something. It's kind of folded like a map, but you know what? Oh wait, there's a picture. Hold on. Oh wait, there's a picture of the old distillery. 1 second. Let's see if I can hold this up with one arm. Wow, this is very big. Okay. This is cool. So this is the John's Lane Distillery. Oh, my voice cracked there like a teenager. I don't know what's happening. I'm not even sick. I don't know why my voice is like cracking. That's really cool. I actually like this. I might actually frame it. We'll see. I have some other whiskey memorabilia that I need to hang up. I have a poster that describes different mash bills and stuff. It's what's over there. I was gonna hang it up on my wall, but something just fell on the floor. But yeah, so this is cool. I appreciate the added benefit there. But let's see how the whiskey is, because that's what's important. It's nice to have little, I don't know, what I guess you would call this more of a fiddly bit if you're taking the Whiskey Vault's language, but it is nice to have little extras there. So this is not the John's Lane. That was almost a mistake. You guys have caught me doing mistakes like that very often. This is the John's Lane. Okay, not enough people answered me earlier. What are you guys drinking? Not that you have to drink with me, but I like when you do, because I drink with all my people that I watch on streams. No, Justin is not here. He is working late tonight, so. So this one's way darker. Color-wise, it's a 12-year-old. Obviously, it's to be expected, right? 16-year Bushmills. Blanton's pick, Brandon. Good choice. Like I said, my store near me, like literally a couple blocks from me, just got a Blanton's pick in. They're selling it for about $96, and they're selling two for $180. Personally, I am okay not paying that. Brandon is graciously a word, because I use that word a lot. He offered me a taste of his Blanton's pick, and it was great, and I did like it better than regular Blanton's, but I feel like I've had it, been there. I don't need to grab another one. So hey Doug, what's up? Sipping on Knob Creek Single Barrel. That's always my default. Honestly, I always drink from Knob Creek. That's just my go-to. Which glass is that? This is the official Kentucky Bourbon Trail glass. I'm got it on Amazon, didn't buy it in Kentucky. I really am digging it though, and I think it's because it's so wide. I think it really helps with the nose. Like, I have the Tribeca glasses, which are very similar to Glencairns, and Tribeca glasses are a little slimmer than Glencairns, so maybe Glencairns are a bit better. But I think this really wide base really it really makes the nose jump out of a glass. Because I struggle when I use the Tribeca ones. You guys have seen me on the streams. I struggle to get a good nose off of those. But I really do. I think these are my favorite tasting glasses that I have. Which I just talked about the nose. I didn't even describe the nose. Okay. Going back. That's good. Oh, spoiler. That's good. Let's go back to the Three Swallows. I do want to make a comparison on the nose. These are both single pot still. The Three Swallows is still very, very fruity. Ooh, this one's different though. This one's more of that, you know how I was saying that I thought that the Green Spot was a little citrusy, like really light and bright. This smells bright. Not as oaky. I think it's more of like that sour kind of note. I attribute that more with like a Jameson kind of thing. The Three Swallows is more the deep wood, the perfumey sherry casks. But I do think, yeah, this one's definitely brighter. It's almost more like a sour apple. I say citrus, but I'm not really getting like lemon or anything. I'm getting more of like a apple flavor. Like, like not like an actual apple, but like a green apple. not a Warhead. What are those things called? Jolly Rancher. Like a green apple Jolly Rancher. Eric, you're on Redbreast 12-year regular strength for second pour. I bought both the 12-year and the 12-year cask strength. I think I may have done a video on it. I may not have. I don't know. But regular Redbreast 12 is great. In my area, it's only about $15 more. Usually it's a little more than that, but on sale, it's usually about $15 more to get the cask strength. And just to me, right now, it's probably a little more expensive. I'm just curious because I'm on the website already. Let's just see how much Redbreast is. Let's see. So Redbreast at my store right now. Oh, they went up. No, they didn't. They did go up in price a little bit. So the 12-year right now is $46. It's a little more, like $20 more. The cask strength is $64. 15-year is $74. I would drink the 12-year all day over the 15-year. No, the cask strength. The regular 12-year. I'm sure the 15-year is better than the regular 12-year, but. I'm a sucker for cask strength whiskeys. Now the LaSalle edition is $60, so that's interesting. It's like almost up there. Honestly, I don't see why you would get the LaSalle finished. It's 92 proof. I don't know why you would get that when the cask strength is $4 more. I don't know. Maybe someone else can explain it to me, but I think the cask strength is way better. Oh, so you think the 12-year is better than the 15-year? Interesting. To be fair, I have not done them side by side. So I have just tried the 15-year and the 12-year cask strength side by side. So I prefer the cask strength. But hey, maybe the 15-year has certain qualities that the age doesn't really benefit it. By the way, so we were at we're dropping views. I won't mention it. I was like, we were like 12 viewers. By the way, thanks for the 6 likes. If you haven't liked yet, really appreciate it. Just hit the little button down there. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, I go live on Thursdays. Promise I won't. I'll let you guys know in the future if I'm going to miss a stream. And a special bonus live stream this Saturday with a full lineup that starts with a W and ends with a R. I'll just say that. Thanks to Brandon, who is bringing some bottles over for us to enjoy. So look forward to that. I'm not sure the time on Saturday. It'll be around this same time, maybe a little bit earlier. So I'll let you guys know in advance. You guys, most of you are in the group chat with Perry. Those of you that aren't, I will do an event on Facebook. Not Facebook. I'll do an event on YouTube that will let you know when I'm going live. So, or if you follow me on Twitter, I'll tweet it there, or Instagram, or wherever you follow me, I'll let you know. Or just shoot me a message. I'll tell you. So let's go ahead and do a taste comparison. I didn't do that. I tasted it, but I didn't compare it. So let's go back to I always like to have one last sip of the one I'm going to compare it to. Yeah, that one's still very light, but it's more mouth coating than the gold label. Now the proof, interesting thing is, the proof is only less than 3 points higher. This one's 46% alcohol, 92 proof. So it's a little bit higher, but like 3% higher. So that one's still very light, but let's compare it to the John's Lane, the 12-year-old release from Powers. Something about 12-year-old Irish whiskey, you guys. Oh, that's delicious. Again, it's $20 more than the 3 Swallows and $30 more than the gold label, but very bright, and it almost gets so there's an odd, I have gotten this note on a Jameson. There's almost a little bit of it's going to sound weird, a little bit of a blood note, like a copper metallic note. It's not bad. It's not, I'm not saying that sounds really weird, but speaking of horror movie, I know, blood note. No, but it's a little bit of metallic ting on there, which maybe what I was getting earlier with the citrus or the apple. There's a little something there, but it's not overpowering and it's not off-putting. There is just, it's it's different. I haven't got that on any of these other ones. Still really sherry forward, lots of sherry flavor on there. I am really curious to see how it compares to the Redbreast, because this is giving me some major Redbreast vibes. Again, same distillery, I know, but yeah, but it gives a twist. So mid palate, it's got a really nice finish for such low proof. It's still going, but it does a weird thing when it gets mid palate. It instead of continues down to the warm sherry shortbread notes, it does that little twist, it kind of doubles back around. It's oh wait, there's a shiny bright metallic note on there. Not off-putting at all. Please don't say that as off-putting. I think it makes it more interesting, to be honest. So I really am excited for this final part of the stream. I'm going to compare this, the 12-year John's Lane, to the 12-year Redbreast. Cast strength, I know is not a fair comparison. I don't have the regular Redbreast 12 on me. I'm sorry. I'll do that. I'll save that for another stream. I'll do 12-year cast strength, 14 cast strength, 15, and 21. So coming soon. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe and you'll see that happen. So I'm going to finish off the Powers Gold Label. I'm not even going to compare it directly with this because it's so far so much cheaper. But it's not a bad whiskey. It's a great mixing whiskey. There's a little bit more of that shininess on the Gold Label than the Three Swallows. So Three Swallows is much more easygoing. Yeah, there's definitely that shiny brightness on this. I just didn't pick up on it because I didn't really have anything to compare it to. So that is there on the Gold Label. So if you are off-put by that kind of like bright, shiny note that you get on this, you may not like the John's Lane, but I do recommend giving it a try. I mean, these are pretty... They're not that hard to find, honestly. I see them a lot. I just have avoided buying them because I've been buying Redbreast. But I think Irish whiskey is definitely worth exploring, even if you have a favorite, like I do. So, I just noticed my water. I feel like that's a Perry thing. If you guys used to watch Perry's live stream, he always notices water. Okay, so in this glass, I'm going to pour some of my beloved Redbreast 12-year cast strength. Favorite Irish whiskey so far. Maybe might get overpowered. Oh, get it, overpowered. Sorry, cringe. Okay, Redbreast 12-year. Now I could be wrong, but I do believe that this doesn't have color added. I could be wrong. Let's see. I don't know if it even mentions being non-chill filtered. It does not say on the front of the label. It's a very similar... I mean, this layout literally looks just like the John's Lane one. I mean, they do the same kind of design. Single pot still, Middleton. Yeah, it doesn't say. They have the seal of approval, but nothing about being chill filtered. So maybe this is chill filtered. I could be wrong. But it smells so good. It smells different though. I mean, this is the John's Lane. Bright. A bit heavy on the alcohol. Like, I mean, doing a direct comparison, the John's Lane has a little bit more alcohol fumes, but there are very, very similar notes. I mean, yeah, that's... Hold up. Had a light mix up there. As always, I mean, that should be like a thing. That should be like a drinking game here. Getting pours confused. Because I do that a lot. The first one I poured that got the heavy alcohol on, that was the Redbreast. This is the Redbreast 12-year cast strength. Sorry about that. It makes sense. Higher proof, more alcohol. I just thought it was weird. I was like, why am I getting alcohol, like ethanol fumes on this? It literally makes sense because it's higher proof. So, Redbreast, John's Lane. I do need my wingman, who will be here Saturday. So, okay, now that that's out of the way, at least these I can tell the difference. I just got the positioning mixed up. It's always harder when they all taste similar. So Brandon, you got to watch out for me when we do our W flight, because those are going to be very easy to mix up. I mean, you got to admit those some of those are very similar. So, anyways, back to the John's Lane to make a fair comparison. That lower proof, honestly, I'm more of like a high proof guy, but this it's not a low proof either. I mean, it's 46% alcohol. So that's not a low proof, but even compared to bourbon, I would say there's not very many bourbons that are that low of proof that are so complex. At least I haven't experienced them. Tell me if I'm wrong Have you guys ever had like a 90-ish proof bourbon that was like super complex? I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't think Weller Special Reserve is very complex. Weller 12 is like, what, close to that range? It's pretty good. I mean, even Michter's 10 is lower proof too. So maybe they're out there, but they're expensive. They're just not a very good... I mean, Eagle Rare, that might be the exception. Eagle Rare is very... I wouldn't say complex, but there's a lot of flavor going on with the Eagle Rare, and that is like, what, 94 proof as well. So, I mean, I think John's Lane is great. Of all the powers, gets my highest recommendation, even though it's the most expensive one. I think it blows away both, obviously, the Gold Label, but the Three Swallows too. But let's do a direct comparison with the Redbreast 12 Cask Strength. Let's compare the nose first, now that I have them in order. Yeah, the John's Lane, it's kind of... I don't really get the metallic note when I'm doing direct comparison with the Redbreast. They honestly do smell very similar. This one definitely it burns the nostrils a little bit more. Higher proof, makes sense. But let's do one sip of the John's Lane. Again, like I said, I like to get my sip right before. I know that's weird. Like sometimes people let their palate reset. I like just going for it. You know, they're not that different. They are actually very, very similar. Yeah, I mean, honestly, so whoever's drinking, Eric, if you're drinking your Redbreast 12-year regular strength, try looking for the John's Lane Powers 12-year, because I think the flavor profiles are like neck and neck. They're very, very similar. The Redbreast has a little bit more of those, I would say, shortbread cookie notes, whereas the Powers has a little bit brighter, a little bit more green apple notes. But flavor-wise, these are very, very close. And of course, it's not fair because I prefer the Redbreast Cask Strength because it's Cask Strength. I'm not going to lie. That extra proof, what is the proof of this one again? 58.2% ABV. So what is that? 116 proof. Fantastic. I mean, it's drinkable. You don't need water. I mean, some people will need water. Not going to say no one needs water, but for someone that does drink higher proof spirits, I occasionally add water to Booker's. I'll add an ice cube to Booker's. I'll put an ice cube in Electric Barrel Proof. Sorry, call me whatever you want to call me, but sometimes I do enjoy drinking it a little bit more with some ice or some water. So high proof. I mean, sometimes the proof can be so overwhelming that you can pick up on more flavors if you water it down or add some ice. So, but I think this Redbreast, I mean, honestly, I don't think I would add ice to this. I think that might bring out some weird flavors. I don't know. So, the nose on this Redbreast is fantastic, though. Super shortbready. John's Lane is still a little brighter. So I said earlier that the John's Lane, I didn't get that brightness when I compared it directly. But after tasting and smelling this one, spending some time with it, going back to the John's Lane, this one still drinks really bright. And I think John's Lane, honestly, would be interesting to compare to Yellow Spot or Green Spot. So again, my message tonight is explore outside your comfort zone. I'm not super familiar with Irish whiskey, obviously. I have favorites, and it still reigns supreme tonight. But there's something really special about this John's Lane. And again, this one's... So the Cask Strength Redbreast is $64. This one I got on sale for $46. Is Redbreast Cask Strength $20 better? I mean, yeah. But is Redbreast 15 or 12-year at the same price better? I don't know, and I can't really tell you unless I compare them side by side. So I'll have to, maybe I'll save this John's Lane for when I do the Redbreast flight, just to do a quick comparison, because I feel like that's something that really needs to be done because they're so similar. But I'm obviously leaning towards the Cask Strength offering. So, what do you guys think? Are you interested in Irish whiskey now, or are you just gonna stick to your bourbon? You guys will probably stick to your bourbon. Brandon, we've tried to convince you to Scotch. You don't falter from your strictly bourbon. I even try to give you rye, and you're like, no rye. But I am curious if some of you may be willing to go out and explore a little bit outside of bourbon, because I think Irish, honestly, is the easiest expansion. I mean, not counting rye, because obviously rye is the easiest expansion from bourbon. But See, even Brandon's like, I'm more open to rye now. But, so if you haven't explored rye, I definitely encourage exploring that a little bit more, because there are a lot more ryes that are like barely legal ryes, which are like 51% rye, but the rest corn. So there's going to be way more in your territory. But I think if once you kind of got a handle on bourbon and rye, Irish is a good place to go. You're not being bombarded by the peatiness or that. There's a note, and I need to find out a professional way to explain it, but to me it's very biley, and that sounds terrible. I get it on a lot of non-peated scotches. Honestly, peated scotches to me are better than non-peated, unless they're like tons of sherry finish. I'm not gonna say it because I mispronounce it every time. I'm sure Aaron's probably gone, but it was Aberlour Abunada. I think I pronounced that right. Maybe, probably not. It is a cask strength Scotch whiskey finished in sherry cask, and I think it's fantastic. It's not peated, and I think it can go head to head with my favorite Redbreast. I really, really freaking enjoy that. So find a flavor profile that you latch onto. Sherry fit. Let's say it's Abuna. Why do I say Abunada? Because it's literally spelled Abunada. Don't freaking criticize me, Donnie. So I have found that I really do like sherry finished whiskeys. So I'll get a sherry finished Scotch, a sherry finished bourbon, a sherry finished rye, a sherry finished Irish whiskey, Redbreast. So yeah, I mean, find what you like. If you don't like sherry finish, obviously avoid those. But if you do, give it a try. So I think we're done for tonight. I know we finished a little bit early, but unless anyone has any questions, if you have any questions, I'll gladly answer them. If not, we will end the stream here. I don't want to go on too long, but I have 3 glasses here that aren't empty yet, so I'm gonna finish them. Whether we're on camera or off camera, I will finish these pours. Oh, that Redbreast is fantastic. I want to save that for the last. This is the 3 Swallows. It's okay. I mean, honestly, the 3 Swallows, it's worth going for the John's Lane. The 3 Swallows is very meh. John's Lane, though, is fantastic. And I will say this is like a final closing thought in that discussion. When I did this tasting, where we tried the Gold Label, the John's Lane, and the 3 Swallows, I had the exact same. It's really weird, though, because I haven't even been thinking about that. I really, first of all, I loved the John's Lane. That was my number 1 pick for the night. But I also, couldn't knock the Gold Label for the price. I think this is a fantastic whiskey. The one that just failed to impress me was the 3 Swallows. And again, it's not bad, but it did. It's like one of those middle road bourbons that not bourbon, Irish whiskey, that it doesn't let you down, but it's like, yeah, but I could pay $10 less and get this, which is great. Or I could pay $20 more and get this, which is fantastic. So this is like middle of the road. It's honestly, though, if price is an issue, this for $30 is not bad for a Irish whiskey. So I'll say that. But I think we are good to go tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate seeing all of you guys. Like I said, another stream on Saturday with Brandon, who is awesome and is bringing over some awesome bottles, so I can't wait. But until then, I am here to help you drink good whiskey. And Powers makes some really good whiskey, but Middleton in general makes good whiskey. So explore. Go out of your comfort zone. Don't stick to Redbreast, even though you love Redbreast. I mean, keep a bottle of it. I'm not saying get rid of a bottle, but explore outside of it. So, all right. Cheers, you guys. Have a wonderful night. And, yeah, I'll see you on Saturday. All right. Bye.